Hey, welcome back to Math Quest. Alright, today's going to be a real short video. Basically, I just want to go over some terminology that you probably have questions about because your math teacher's been using them, right? So let's take a look here. Let's just go ahead and write, how about an expression? 2x plus, how about 7xy minus 3. Okay, that should be enough. All right, so we want to go over what is a term, what is a constant, and what is a coefficient. So if you look right here, okay, the very first one, the 2, anytime you have a number next to a variable, that's called a coefficient. So in this particular expression, we have two coefficients. We have the 2 and we have a 7. Both of those are coefficients because they're right next to variables. It doesn't matter how many variables they're next to, as long as they're next to a variable, that's called a coefficient. And the last term that I have up here, this minus 3, that's called a constant. So it's a number that stays by itself. There's no variable next to it, means it's not gonna keep changing. For example, if I plug in a value for x, it's gonna change that too, depending on what my value is. So let's say I plug in a value of 3 for x. Well, that coefficient is gonna change to a 6 because 2 times 3 equals 6. So it's constantly gonna be changing depending on what value I put in for my variable. In this case is my variable of x, and in this case it would be the variable of x and y. So the coefficient will change depending on what we plug in for the variable. Okay, the coefficient will change, but the constant stays constant. It will always be a minus 3. It will never change. All right, and also next thing, I want to make sure you understand that these right here, this whole thing is a term. This is a term and this is a term. So each term is separated by either an addition or a subtraction operation. It's not separated by a multiplication or division. It's only separated by addition and subtraction. So in this particular one, we have 3 terms: 2x, 7xy, and the 3. Those are my terms. My coefficients are my 2 and my 7, and my constant is the 3. All right, so hopefully you have a better understanding now. And listen, make it a habit of trying to learn the actual language, because mathematics is a language in itself. The more of the language that you learn, the easier you'll start to see mathematics becoming, because you'll be able to understand it more. You have to basically speak the language if you want to understand it. All right, hopefully that makes sense to you. And oh, let me give you one more. Just don't want to throw you off here real quick. Let's say that I had a 3x squared plus a 8x minus 4. Once again, it looks very similar to my first one, right? Very similar. This has an x squared. So what? Look at what's separating. A plus sign here and minus sign there. They could all be plus signs. They could all be minus signs. It can be a combination. It doesn't matter. Therefore, I still have 3 terms. That extra exponent doesn't make a difference. This whole thing is still one term. This is another term, and this is another term. The 3 here is my coefficient, and my 8 is the coefficient on the second one, on the second term. All right, hopefully you have a better understanding now. Now let's get to work. Click on another one of my videos. Let's start solving some 1- and 2-step equations. All right, now that you know what terms, coefficients, and constants are. All right, thank you guys so much for coming by to Math Quest. And if you got some value out of this video, please click the subscribe and like button. And I'll see you next time on Math Quest. Have a good one.